2, 3, 4. Places, almost time for places. Thank you, 5.
5 minutes to places.
Thank you, 5.
So Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
you remember your first artistic experience?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
Okay, tell me about it.
that my first artistic experience, the first time I remember feeling like I'm an artist, this is might be a little weird, but was in my dad's car, and I was we were driving somewhere, probably from a hockey practice or something, and I just remember myself like climbing up this ladder in the back seat, and the whole world just stopped, you know, and I remember my brother and my dad turning around and being like, "What's happening?" And it was some impulse, some thought, some dream that I had to physicalize through my body. And I feel like that's my first moment where I was like, that you created art in the backseat of that car.
How old were you?
I was probably like 7.
7.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
you
also
did
did
a little
some
improv?
Oh, what's that?
You did a little improv?
Yeah. I also had some amazing teachers, amazing arts teachers. My first music teacher was a woman named Miss Scotch Starks, and Miss Scotch Starks was our choir director, and
How did I know?
he had this way of like, she just cared. And I remember that she would bring together siblings for concerts and like go through all the hassle of arranging through different time periods and classes to have siblings perform together. And I loved that I could like get up on stage and sing with my brother. And she also taught the entire school Lift Every Voice without ever mentioning that it was the Black National Anthem. And we had a whole like flag dance that went with it. And she was just this incredible woman, Mrs. Scotch Starks. So she, I've heard of thing. And Doug Pona, who was my middle school drama teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And he was the first person to ever get us like really into feeling our bodies and like listening to ourselves and creating from a place of like knowing yourself.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So like when you are creating, like what gives you inspiration? Where does your inspiration come from?
Ooh, well, it depends. You know, like right now it comes from being in lust-like world and from being in the middle of
Like being in a relationship?
having a gentleman caller, you know.
Oh, Blanche.
And also from the state of the world, you know.
Yeah.
So one, COVID has given us me this great gift of time. And, you know, being unemployed is awful. People dying is awful. The way that it disproportionately affects, you know, Black and brown communities and other privileged people is horrible. But all this time to sit and play and write and work and practice and just like studio out has been amazing. It's been really inspiring to me.
I love that you're like both happy and sad and positive and negative things are inspirational.
Yeah.
It's a well of things to dip into and pull from.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite thing is that time, you know, that an artist needs time.
Yeah. My dad actually came home the other day with a guitar that he found in the trash. And it's this electric guitar. And I usually don't play electric guitars. I play like the acoustic and so I do some finger picking, but with the electric I had to sort of strum. And this was just a couple days after protests were really breaking out in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And that was all on my mind. It was all I could think about. And sat down and in a morning after he just gave us this gift, gave me this gift, just plopped into my lap. I felt like I made something I'm really proud of, and that would have never happened without these three things. One, the gift; two, the circumstances; and three, the time. I mean, the circumstances of George Floyd's murder.
Yeah. Like what's at hand.
Yeah.
So if you had like a dream project, what's your dream project? What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to spend your artistic, creative time doing?
Start like a second leg of a major dream project of mine tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I'm throwing my bike on the back of a friend's van, and we're riding out to Nashville, and I'm gonna start riding my bike a few hundred miles and ride through sites of the rebellion of enslaved people, ride to a plantation where my own ancestors were held captive, ride to sites of that were stolen from Native people, to the Clotilda to see one of the last known slave ships that was brought after the transatlantic slave trade was banned. Just this epic bike ride that's I've been dreaming about sort of doing this underground railroad bike trip for 10 years, maybe more, and then really planning it for like a couple, and then really replanning it thanks to COVID for like a couple of weeks. Really, this is like so that's a big dream project that's about to come true.
I mean, that's just amazing that you are actually doing your dream project. You know, a lot of people talk about their dreams as if they are so far away, or something they only visit at night, but you're actually doing it. That's amazing. So like, yes. So when you have like, what you talked a little bit about this, but like, what are the barriers you face as an artist? Like what stops you? What keeps your dreams at a distance?
My own mind reeling, depression, anxiety, self-doubt, money, the influence of other people and their doubts, but also in reverse, being built up and held up by members of our community is something that really keeps me going. And there's a little piece. You got it. That was it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's so it's so easy to tell yourself the worst things, right? And believe them. And so I think I really personally suffer a lot from depression and anxiety, social anxiety, and just these negative thoughts and lies that come up for me, and that's debilitated me for years. I've spent long periods of time feeling bad. But right now, I really feel like, most days I feel like I can do anything I really want to if I just stick to it.
I love that. I love that. I love that you're your own barrier in a way that you can also be your own solution. Like sometimes these outside forces seem so insurmountable that when we really look and see, like maybe all that we need is here, and we just need to like let go of perfection.
Yeah.
The idea of controlling everything and being perfect, and just get on that bike and ride.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fear of being vulnerable and being judged. I mean, like telling my wordplay story, doing those kind of things are terrifying.
Yeah.
The telling people some of your most difficult truths and past.
Yeah.
Grappling with these things on stage in public that most people don't even tell maybe their friends or family, or you know, that's terrifying and
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's freedom. You know,
Yeah.
it's freedom to be released of that bondage of self, you know. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And I think that's the role of the artist in the community, you know, to like, you know, shepherd the way towards truth and reconciliation, whether that's interpersonally or on a you know, a more physical level in the community. So speaking of the community,
Yeah.
who are you loving right now? Like, who as an artist are you loving and want to see more of and can't wait to see their work?
There are two people that come to mind whenever there's like something big going on, whether it's local, whether it's national, global. There are two people whose opinions I really want to hear. And one of those people is Damon Young. Because he is so vulnerable. And I feel like he really has this way of talking about you know, current topics, but through his own anecdotes and through his life in a way that seems so personal and relatable. And he's the kind of person who makes me feel like one day I could write a memoir, or like, you know, or like it's okay to bear my soul because it is. And he's still, you know, because it's just because it is.
Oh, we have.
Yeah. And so I feel like he is really, you know, and there's a lot of pressure to put on someone, but I do feel like he's a major voice of Black Pittsburgh and of Pittsburgh, period.
Yep.
And then another person who I look to is Vanessa Jones. Yeah. And, you know, I think what Damon does in his humor and his stories, Vanessa has a way of doing for poetry that is just
her spirit.
Woo! I mean, she gives and gives from this deep well of creativity to the source.
Yes. Two prophets that live amongst us.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Places.
Oh. Places.
Places. Okay.
Showtime.
Let's go. Let's go.
Have a great show, my girl.
Get it, Tami. Love you.
Thank you for